So I just want to touch on King Blood, before we move on. So in New York, the Latin Kings started to grow as an organization. More and more members, they started to swell. And then right around 1993, an internal war started to break out in the Latin Kings. And I guess seven Latin Kings members were killed. And there was one murder in particular where a guy was decapitated, set on fire, and his Latin King tattoo was carved off of his body. And his head was never actually even found again. King Blood was blamed for ordering some of these hits, and he got the most severe sentence since World War II. He was sentenced to 250 years in prison.
More than Benedict
And
Arnold.
and the first 45 years were to be served in solitary confinement. And then 39 other Latin King members got about 20 years each. Do you remember that time?
Vaguely, because, I was on probation coming home and working at that time. I was blessed to have the stars bless me with good leaders when I came home that were running my neighborhood. That was well educated in what it did and understood the situation I was in with being homeless, coming back from jail, not being able to come to my mother's house. When I came home, they gave me the space I needed to progress and staying home. You know what I'm saying? So no, like most of yous, I picked up the paper in the morning, and you see that. And you see people you love and you care for. Like what the Christians call for them, the coming of the Messiah. That was the coming of Operation, King Blood and taking. So it's like you go and you come and you see people missing. Wives are sleeping 3 in the morning, and when she turned around, he's not there. And I know y'all seeing it as, they're getting indicted in the criminal, but I'm saying the human part of what happens when these indictment comes and these accusations. But once again, people must understand, and this is where I'm going, and it's no story, but I'm going to make sure people understand this. He was in Attica in a cell with his letters and phone calls being monitored in their prison. Like they killed that like that rapist killed himself in MCC by mistake and they left alone. He was in a cell. There were people copying his letters. That means there were people copying, keeping, and being accessory to murder. Because if they called one of them suckers, and I don't mean as them suckers because they were the victim or the one committing the crime, but both of them were suckers to the game because they already made a copy of the letter. That's what they accused them, right? So my point to you, I just want to see everybody takes out the other player in the game. So what they did, let's say if the first thing happened, right? What they did, oh wow, these guys are real. Let's see if it happens again. But if it was a 16-year-old white girl that got put in that situation you ever done, would there ever been another victim? Would there ever been? I'm just saying, I think they sensationalize that guy's murder, which is, God rest his soul, man. And that Almighty got him. We don't
Did you
know.
know?
Huh?
Sorry to
I don't
interrupt
know
you.
him. I just, like in the papers or anybody you talk in your hood, he's a king or whatever, you call him friend or foe. Like we say, like an indictment, we don't wish that on nobody. That's why we say that could be, and that's why we question justice and was it them? Who was it really king? So what I'm saying, a man that was in a cell got to get accused for 7 murders. So that means 7 people, they saying he had to send, right? That's what they accusing him of. So the senders that came and brought him and tickled the tongue of a fucked up man in a situation and came out, they made deals with the DA, so that made it righteous. Confusing shit for a lot of Latin Kings and Bloods when these things happen. And that's what confused me when I heard the case. And that's why I fought and I wanted to pursue justice to see if they were dealing with him fairly and it was blind. Not if I supported or didn't support. That's none of your fucking business. That's like voting. So you could judge me if I support in redemption and making him want to get again. Oh, then you can't be that good because you believe. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think King Blood, to end it there, the sentence is draconian, man. He made a mistake. He apologized. He's been there how long? 98?
Yeah.
No, but remember, in 89, he was in Attica, that shoe. So he's been in a shoe in solitaire since 89? Okay, he's been through the programs. He's doing everything. I don't know what's happening with him. But this I know, I was in the feds. There's a cycle. But he's not getting a release to just have a humanity again, right? And let's see where he's at. Let's let a pastor, let somebody touch him. Let him love on him. Let him give him a hug. Kiss his fucking head. Because if it was your child, you'd be wishing somebody get up in there with him. Regardless what he done. That's how I see him. You get it? And I never met him again. So when he started making contact with me, he's like everybody. Tone, I see you. What's up? You doing good. I hear you getting shocked. I hear you changing life. You get it? Not every letter was a letter to somebody about, like they make it seem, ignorance, hate. That's not the King Blood I knew.